We've had so many fire alarms I've attended that are false alarms. But then both Ruth and they just thought, well, maybe they better come up and check it. So they came up, opened the door, and it was just all smoke. And as soon as the oxygen hit, there's flames. And from there on, it was 911 and the response. And so from 7 o'clock at night, when they found out, it was probably well burnt out by midnight. And it was the worst case scenario. It was at night, and the fire department usually practice in the daytime. And there was snow on the roads. The road was slippery, and it's a curved road that they weren't too familiar with, so they took the truck off the road. They had to chain it up, and then they had to run 800 meters of hose uphill in the rain at night. And then when they got here, the fence was electrified. The power didn't shut off, so they had an electric fence. Got 2 hours later to get water on it, and by that time it was just so difficult to fight a fire up here. There was no chance.
What happened to you?
I'll talk to you in a minute about it. All right.
A lack of oxygen. And I'm still counting. That's 150 and still more to come.
What we believe happened is that the intake line got plugged up because of the silt and sediment coming down from the stream. So we've just been trying to increase the flow, blow out the line, and we're going to have to check and see how the water flow is doing.
Site trailer has been installed. It's not hooked up to power yet, but it's on site now.
I know all the names. They're really cool.
Welcome. We're having a coffee break. George needs one. He's been working all night. Now he's up here volunteering all day.
Too much coffee.
Trying to put a budget together, but we want to build a building that's sustainable, and it's going to take a lot of money to do it, and we are short a significant amount.
When the fire had ravaged the entire building, the last thing left and visible was this sign, which was up high on the arch at the front of the building. This is the one that says Mossom Creek Hatchery, and you can still read it. So today we're going to put chains around that bridge and lift it and try to save it. This is the Fingerling Festival. It's the premiere, it's the big environmental event put on by our sister hatchery, the Noons Creek Hatchery. So we want to show people what the Mossom 2.0 is going to look like. In order to meet current bylaws and fisheries biosecurity and do all the things we want, we're going to go up one floor as well. Okay, now let's get this right, guys.
That's more centered in the backdrop. Maybe turn the right corner out a bit.
Hello. Good morning. Hello. It's an exciting day.
This is our sod turning ceremony in preparation for actually starting construction.
That's huge. I mean, we in just over 6 short months, we were able to go from a loss to have everything in place to start construction, which we plan to do in August. So we think it's a big day, and we want to signify it by this sod turning ceremony. So we really think it's huge for us. So
Welcome and thank you for coming to Mossom Creek Hatchery and Education Center. My name is George Asaf. I'm the Vice President of the Burrard Inlet Marine Enhancement Society, otherwise known as BIMES. We are here to celebrate the next stage of our reconstruction, and he is probably the prime reason why we're at this stage where we're at today. Mr. Pat Dennis.
we're pleased to announce that we've been given a tremendous opportunity from our neighbors, Imperial. They have offered a one-time matching funding opportunity towards our education and programming component of $75,000.
I have not known, I've lived in the Tri-Cities all my life, I have not known a Tri-Cities without the Mossom Hatchery. My son is 20 months old. He will not know a Tri-Cities without a Mossom Hatchery that is here doing great things for the community, doing great things for educational opportunities, bringing us all together. Pat, thank you for the work that you're doing. being a persistent pest, but a good one, and getting in my face, and getting contributions, Pacific Salmon Foundation, everybody who's been involved. And thank you everybody for being here. This is a good day for Mossom Creek 2.0 and moving forward. So thanks very much.
Oh, you got to put your feet, you got to lift it.
Give us a lesson.
All right, you ready?
Sorry.
Okay.
Photo up, dig in.
Hey.
Hey, there we go. The wall's done for the hatchery, the structural steel's in place for the second floor. We're putting in drains and doing a floor slab on Tuesday. But I'm really pushing here. I'm about 5 weeks ahead of schedule, so I'm happy about that. Okay, we'll keep in touch, yeah. Okay, thanks Paul, take care, bye. City Hall was inquiring about our progress. The last time, Evo, you were here, we just had our excavation done. And from that point on, we've had to pour footings, which were just around the perimeter of our new building. And then after that, walls were formed, and we've also got our structural steel installed for the second floor. And for the trench drains, that'll be starting installation tomorrow. And we hope by Tuesday next week we'll be ready to pour the concrete slab, which is a big step.
Less than 5 millimeters of rain, possibility of precipitation 80% for our pour on Tuesday.
Perfect. Lafarge Canada is without a doubt our biggest partner here in this project. So they've stepped up to donate all the formwork to form these walls, all the placing of the concrete and the pump that is required to pump the concrete. So it's $120,000 value, which is without a doubt a very, very significant aspect. Electrical is all gray and black is plumbing.
Recently, we have had the pleasure of an astonishingly great new volunteer, Mel Steamston. And he's a recently retired power and steam engineer from BC Hydro, the Burrard Thermal Plant in Port Moody.
And I've asked him to be manager of our mechanical and plumbing, and he's been a huge, huge help to me to take that piece off my shoulder.
And these are all the volunteers?
These are all the volunteers, yeah.
These wonderful big tubs that we're putting into place today have been paid for by a grant from Van City, our local credit union in Port Moody, and that organization. They've been extremely helpful to us, and that is now where we bank. Jim Beck and Mel Steamston and Neil Lafra are here virtually every day, all day. They're total volunteers. They will do anything and everything, and that's why the site looks so good and it's cleaned up all the time. The fellow in the thistle sweatshirt, that is Scott Ducharme, and he's our Fisheries and Oceans Canada fisheries technician. And it's quite a big deal to get that seal right, and there's been a lot of work, a lot of people struggling with this, but it looks really good today. You can begin to see at the top of the scaffolding there how it's going to go on and completely cover the outside of the second story. It's a very attractive sort of an industrial but bomb-proof kind of a surface that we're putting on there. And one thing is that brown insulation that looks like fiberglass, but it's not. It's actually a mineral that's been heated to high temperature, a rock material that's been crushed and heated and spun into a fiber. And it has anti-fire properties and very high insulating value, and it's been used for a very long time, perhaps more than 100 years. I was thinking about whether we might have a problem sometime with graffiti in the future, because this is going to be an unfenced area and people will be able to wander through. And I posed this question to the fellow who's helping us with our painting. This is Done Right Painting and Sandblasting. And he said, no problem, we will clean your concrete, we will seal it, and we will put the anti-graffiti material on it for you. It's an eco-friendly product that we're going to put on, and we'll give you a maintenance kit that goes with it and all the instructions you will need going forward. So that's an example of one of the many, many partners that has been helping us in their specific ways. It's just absolutely terrific.
My granddaughter always called this church. We go to Church of Salmon on Sundays, and somehow our congregation has really grown as people have pitched in for the rebuild.
Well, this is a really special day. This is the delivery of our first fish into the new hatchery, and these are 50,000 chum that we harvested the eggs for at the Alouette River Hatchery way back in late October, and they have been kept at the Alouette River Hatchery. They've looked after them for us through the egg stage, the eyed egg stage, alevin stage, the fry. And now DFO has delivered them as fry to our hatchery.
Just getting all the stuff out of there, getting ready for the new generation of fish. So excited. So excited.
There's lots of dissolved oxygen in there for them, and the temperature is 8 degrees, so we are good to go. Good for the fish.
So that's just a few that probably got bonked by the net out of the 50,000. Very, very good survival rate to get them here.
No, I have a bucket for you too, you know.
Okay, Rod, Jack, and Jill.
Yeah, they do look happy.
Yeah, and look at that. They love it.
Look at that. They're saying,
Yeah.
okay.
We've got a roof that's worth $30,000, and we're paying $15,000 for it. And this is a company called Architect. This is a lot of generosity on their part. It's finished, and we're waiting for it to grow now. Or lingonberries, shrub, like little tiny ground cover, all sorts of things. And it will be completely covered and filled in with moss where we don't have plants as well.
Yeah.
Today we're finally unveiling the brand new facilities, and then it's full business, as if we've already stopped really. We got the fish already gone a couple of times into the creeks, and now we have some coho left. But the building inside has not been open to the general public except for this special event today.
You can see we're just in the process of getting things roughed out. But we've got a bit to go, but we thought you got to open sometime.
It's quite exciting. We were here a very long day yesterday, from early in the morning until about 9 o'clock last night. And the pond was just completed last night, and we're pretty thrilled about it. Welcome, everyone. We are proud to be standing amongst volunteers, friends, and special guests less than 18 months after the fire, and celebrating the opening of a new 2-story, state-of-the-art salmon enhancement and education center.
It's just amazing, the community support, and that goes all the way from the federal government to provincial government to civic government and to local volunteers and industry. So representing the federal government would be James Moore, and he's our local MP and Minister of Industry. So he'll be speaking, and partially involved with the Pacific Salmon Foundation, which is funded federally. So there's a connection with Pacific Salmon and the federal government. And Linda Reamer, our provincial MLA, Linda is here and representing the province and their donations also. So we have all these and Diana Dilworth will represent the city of Port Moody. And they've been on site right from the beginning. They had a works trailer here, site management trailer on site, and about a week after the fire. So
every level has been contributing.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's an example of the community coming together after a tragedy when this Mossom Creek burned down, and it's because of the wonderful community that we have here. This is just a testament to how wonderful the community is.
Big logs, Rod obtained. Can you see them now?
Yes,
down
yeah,
there?
yeah.
By beachcombing. He
Oh, cool.
has been going in the inner and the outer harbor and dragging logs back in his skiff. And then Mill and Timber in Port Moody, the mill is going to contribute the planks for the horizontals.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
This is actually pervious concrete, so you can pour water on it and the water will go right through it. So we call it concrete that leaks. And it's fantastic for on surfaces such as this, that you allow water to just permeate right through and it doesn't collect on the surface and it acts in a more natural state. So yeah, it's a fantastic product. We're really proud of it.
This is our fire-rated glass floor to allow viewing into the hatchery, natural light into the hatchery, and people in the hatchery to view out into our pristine environment around us. So we're really pleased with the result. It turned out better than we designed it and expected. So.
A tiny little guy right
Hey, that's a cutie.
there. We believe it's a cutthroat. It's very hard to tell when they're very tiny because they don't have all their official markings.
You know, our library was destroyed, and we had a very extensive library. In fact, we had a librarian who organized the books, and I had a couple at home, so they weren't destroyed in the fire. So I want to return them like the beginning of our library built.
Yukon Chinook and the Lorax, that's a great environmental book. Lots and lots about salmon, but lots about other things too. Belong in our salmon. Come on and see our native vegetation garden. These are all native plants that are around the pond and around the building. We've got some cutthroat trout in there and we've got some coho.
We built this building for $650,000 and the value of it to build it today would be $1.3 million. So it gives you an idea of the type of support we received. The roof is a green roof. He cut his price in half. Every trade that was here contributed in some aspect by donating materials or reducing their price. And so they really helped in the whole process. And then we had on the other side corporate donors who gave us money for helping build the building. And we had two of the bigger were Pacific Salmon Foundation and Port Metro. Pacific Salmon Foundation, we applied for a grant and were awarded $100,000 from them, so that's a big step. And Port Metro Vancouver stepped up and they have operational funding for us, $25,000 for 1 year and $50,000 for the next 2. So that was big. And then our neighbor here in Pearl, they donated $75,000. So those are 3 examples, but I mean, we have a list inside of everybody that helped, small, big, large, it all built that pot up. So that really was huge to help us.
We're right here at the boat club right now, and we're about to bring in a skiff to load the fish on. They're 4.2 grams each, and there are 20,000 of them. We're going to be moving them out to the sea pen. Once they get to the sea pen, we're going to feed them for a week or 2, fatten them up, get them used to salt water in a safe environment. And we've been told that if we keep them in that sea pen for a week, we can double their chances of coming back.
So then we'll release them into the wild, and 3 or 4 years from now somebody will catch his 42-pounder.